Tonight, Jacqueline Smith stars as Christine Cromwell.
Between you and Cyrus, I feel like a 6-year-old. I pay you people an enormous amount of money every year, basically to tell me that my judgment is not worth spit. I still think that's right for a takeover. But you haven't been wrong yet. I'll stay out of it.
I've known the McNamays for years. They'll fight like hell, but they'll turn on an outsider. Even if you win a proxy fight, you won't be able to get them off the board. They'll pay off the banks, put the earnings in the toilet, and use your cash to modernize.
Tell Cyrus I don't want the cash sitting around.
It's against his religion.
So, is he broke, or can I redo the dining room?
Would you believe this? The DeYoung would kill for some of the pieces here. She's living in a museum, and she wants to turn it into Casa de Chintz. I'm going into the city.
When will you be back?
When I get here. Talk to you Monday.
And that was his social side.
Everybody knows he's difficult.
Difficult. I'm afraid to be seen in public. The man goes out of his way to humiliate me. We went to a reception at the museum, and he introduced me 3 times as his little airhead. Do you realize that I don't even have a credit card? And if I want to buy a dress or a pair of shoes, I have to ask him for permission.
Olivia,
I know you can't say anything. He's a major client. I just need to talk to somebody. Look at this.
Good God. Has he done this before?
Whenever he gets drunk.
Well, there's always divorce.
With the prenup I signed, I'd be able to afford a studio in Oakland. I know it sounds awful, but Daddy was practically broke when he died. Mommy can barely make ends meet, and I'm not exactly a hot commodity on the job market. If I were lucky, I'd end up selling jewelry at Tiffany.
You have a lot more to offer than you think.
Not according to my loving husband. Anyway, thank you for listening. If you wouldn't be too bored, I'd love to come to the city someday and have lunch.
Just pick a day, okay?
I'll call.
Will you be needing anything else, ma'am?
No, thank you, Kathleen. That was wonderful.
Michael and I are going to go see the grandchildren.
Will you be spending the night?
But we'll be back in the morning to fix your breakfast. Michael will turn on the alarm.
Kiss the baby for me.
I will that.
Drive safely. Feels like a storm.
think you're doing? You spoiled little bitch! I'm gonna teach you a lesson you'll never forget!
Good morning, Mother. Where are you? This is a terrible connection. Rio? What? Morning, Mary. Mr. Blaine, right away. Thank you. Morning, Sarah.
Morning. The Ryersons are coming in at 10:30. You have lunch with Malcolm Lloyd, and Kreitzer has to see you about the Claridge audit at 3.
Do you know what Sarah wants?
No, but he's been in with Larry DeRoche since 8:30. What are the pink ones?
The pink ones are gladiolas, Sarah. Well, I guess I better see what's up. What?
Can I borrow the black dress with sequins?
Sarah.
Oh, it's cocktails at Maisie Cartwright. Somebody said John Kennedy's coming.
You spill on that dress, and you'll never walk again.
Nothing shall pass my lips but gossip.
Larry?
Walker Garrison's dead.
Hart?
Shotgun. His wife blew his head off.
Olivia? That's ludicrous.
Christine, she's already admitted it.
Shooting him?
Yeah, said it was self-defense.
On the stairs. Fully clothed. Good God, couldn't she have waited for him to take off his pants?
Cyrus, you don't have all the facts.
Christine, please, don't tell me I've got to listen to some feminist flapdoodle from you. The firm's got a serious problem. Walker Garrison accounted for just over $1 million in fees last year.
Not to mention the fact that under California law, a felon, as I'm sure you must know, is not permitted to profit from his crimes. So if Olivia is convicted, she can't inherit.
Who does?
3 nephews, none of whom are clients.
Poor Olivia.
You should see her.
You're right, I should.
And since you are an attorney, perhaps you should consider...
No, I'm practicing. I haven't been in a courtroom in 10
I
years.
thought that was a little bit like riding a bicycle, I think. I hope you're not trying to tell us you've forgotten everything you've learned in the public defender's office.
Look, if we want to get her off, let's hire the best criminal lawyer available.
Before we start throwing money away, do me a favor. Go talk with her.
Cyrus, she's a friend.
Well, then you shouldn't have a problem getting in to see her.
Everett Stevens, Miss Cromwell, I'm Mrs. Garrison's attorney. Did you have any problems with the letter of credit?
Blaine and Knapp have very good banking relationships.
Listen, thank you for coming out and taking care of Bill. I really couldn't have stood that place much longer.
I think we really need to talk.
Not today.
Yes, I know, but we're in a lot of problems
I'm going upstairs.
All right, I'll give you a call in the morning.
Fine.
This place gives me the willies. Reminds me of the Spanish Inquisition.
It was the way he looked at me. There was such unbelievable hatred in his eyes. I'm going to teach you a lesson you're never going to forget. I'm not sorry he's dead. He was a bastard. It was self-defense. I thought that if he came upstairs, he'd kill me. Kill me or rape me.
Had he done that before?
Whenever I didn't do what he wanted me to do, he beat me until I did.
Did anybody else know?
It's not something you discuss at junior league meetings. People see you in town and country and they think you've got the perfect marriage.
What about a doctor or a dressmaker? Somebody who gives you facials?
Ruthie. Ruthie, she saw me with black eyes twice.
Did you say anything?
Yeah, I told her I ran into a door.
Did she believe you?
Of course not. The second time, what was it she said? She said, if I had a door like that, I'd get rid of it, no matter how much it was worth. Will that prove it?
Do you want me to be honest?
Obviously not, but you'd better be.
Olivia, if you make a statement along the lines of what you've just told me, they'll order a psychiatric examination.
But it's all true.
His voice going through the house, the phone being out, the car not starting. Olivia, you phoned the police immediately after you shot him.
Oh, my God. The phone was working perfectly. What am I supposed to do? Make something up? That's what happened.
When you asked me to get you an aspirin, there was a bottle of Turanols in the medicine cabinet. It was your prescription.
It's 2 years old. I never even used them. I had no trouble falling asleep that night. I was not hallucinating.
To Uncle Walkie. He never had much luck with women.
Cut the crap, Charlie. The randy old goat got exactly what he deserved. There's no way that she could walk, is there?
The only thing certain in the law is that you can never be certain with a jury.
Cuts both ways. Get her to plead. You're right, Arthur. We only need one felony count, for God's sake.
Look, I'm trying. Fortunately, Christine Cromwell just moved in.
Who's she?
Blaine and Knapp. She was Garrison's investment advisor. Used to be a PD.
What's the problem? Blaine and Knapp lose a pantload of fees if Olivia doesn't inherit. So? So this Christine Cromwell's not going to want her to plead. Well, Olivia decides to fight. This could be tied up in the courts for years.
Which means the estate is in limbo.
Which means we wouldn't inherit.
Which would mean we're going to have to make it worth her while.
$3 million. One from each.
It's serious, Arthur. 10.
Charlie's right, Arthur. We have to make an offer so good she can't resist. She gets $10 million for shooting her husband? That's outrageous.
We want her to accept. And the Carmel house and the San Francisco apartment.
That's another 15.
If she hadn't pulled the trigger, we wouldn't be getting a dime. Walkie hated all of us. Make the offer.
And so with the house and the apartment, we're talking about a cash value in excess of $25 million.
Is it legal?
Oh, it's perfectly legal. But you haven't even been indicted. You may never be indicted. And even if you are, you might not be convicted.
With all due respect, Miss Cromwell, I think it's a virtual certainty that Mrs. Garrison will be indicted. Now, we will, of course, give you the most aggressive defense possible, which will, I'm sure, lead to an acquittal on all but the most minor charges. However, as you know, if you're convicted in the death of your husband, you are ineligible to inherit under California law.
So you're recommending that I take it?
Having $25 million in the bank is not bad compensation for playing it safe.
I'm going to have to think about this. Oh, I hate this mausoleum. I'd sell it tomorrow.
Look, why don't you give me a call? Oh, and please, don't talk to anybody else about the case unless I'm there. Now, that includes Miss Cromwell. She's not protected by privilege. I'll be at my office at 4. Good day.
What did he mean about being protected by privilege?
Well, since I'm not your lawyer, they could put me on the stand and make me testify about what you've told me.
You mean my telling you I wasn't sorry he's dead?
Wouldn't be sound of music to a jury now.
But you are a lawyer. That's why I was asking you those things.
Good Lord, Olivia.
What?
You mean you were asking me those things because you thought I was giving you legal advice?
You were first in our class, Christine. You did go to Harvard Law. Can't I hire you? I'll get rid of Stevens.
Olivia, I haven't been in court in 10 years. You need the best money can buy.
Then I'll buy it for me. Please, Christine, I need someone I can talk to. You're the only one I can trust.
I'll see Stevens, tell him what you've decided, and get back out as fast as I can.
You really can't do it over the phone.
Olivia, this involves a major restructuring of my life.
I'm sorry. I appreciate it. Really.
I know. Now listen, Stevens was right about one thing.
Don't talk to anybody.
Anybody.
Got it. Don't worry.
I think the only reason you don't see this as a conflict of interest is that you haven't practiced law in the last 10 years. Clearly, you're only interested in preserving your firm's control of the Garrison estate.
Conflict of interest, Mr. Stevens? And what would you call what you're doing? You want to try and tell me that you don't have an agreement about representing the cousins if you can convince Olivia to go along with their rip-off proposal?
What, better for her to get nothing after she pleads guilty to involuntary manslaughter?
She's not going to plead to anything.
Oh, that's terrific. That's great. You just promoted Lute Grazzi from ADA to State Attorney General.
By sending an innocent woman away?
Innocent? There are a lot of people who think she's already signed a double-barreled confession. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the defendant blew her husband's brains out in the front hall of their palatial estate. There was a little friction in the marriage. Her motive? $200 million.
Sounds pretty bleak.
So I'm sure you'll be relieved to know that I've reviewed my decision.
Oh, well, thank God.
Our points of view are diametrically opposed. We'd never be able to defend her properly. You're a strong lawyer. In a case like this, you have to tell the client, look, it's my way or the highway.
It's the only thing you can do if you're a good lawyer.
Right. So you're gone.
What?
I think that'll work out a lot better, don't you?
Overweening ego can lead to disaster.
Cyrus, please, this is hardly ego. I want to do this about as much as I want to have a root canal. We've got to get a gunfighter. That guy in Texas, what's his name? Spence or Bailey?
Why don't you slow down? Wait to see if she's indicted.
She'll be indicted, trust me. Probably manslaughter. Did you ever see Gaslight?
Wasn't it a movie?
Yes, Charles Boyer and Ingrid Bergman. He makes her believe she's going insane.
Wait a minute. You're not serious. The nephews as Charles Boyer?
Or one of them. Disconnects the phone, fools with a car. You're right. Nobody's gonna buy this, Cyrus. I'm not even sure I buy it.
Walker Garrison didn't have a friend on this planet. He was a bastard of monumental proportions. I don't doubt that Olivia Garrison feared for her safety. Is that any help?
I just don't know how we convince a jury that the Garrisons or Charles Claghorn would go around slamming doors and fooling with cars.
$200 million is a hell of a motive.
So she cans me right through the elevator doors.
Well, this is terrific. You come soliciting our business, get yourself fired instead.
I'd say your usefulness to this venture's at an end, Stevens.
No, it's not that easy, fellas. I put some of the pieces together.
Who shoots first?
Mark Van Rad's called 3 times. The man has a voice like warm maple syrup.
That's the problem. It drips on you for one dinner and you're sticky for 3 days.
I just asked him to lick me clean.
Sarah!
Sorry. You have a whole bunch of dinners, a couple of benefits.
Cancel everything.
Can I go to the ones that are already paid for?
Anything that's not sit down.
I'm young, but I'm fun.
No.
And your mother called.
She's back.
She said you have to come to dinner tonight.
Tell her I'll be there at 8.
She said she has a surprise for you.
Oh, no.
You don't think it's another husband?
Mother?
Darling, hello.
I didn't expect you back for another month.
Well, leave my flowers alone. They're just looking a little peaked.
The lilies are stone dead, Mother.
Well, when you're right, you're right. You should take a lesson from those lilies. You've been working too hard again. Smile. You've got to start going to Elizabeth Arden twice a week.
Mother, I don't have time to go to the cleaners.
Christine, you don't still have...
Nanny, and I'm keeping her.
But why? She doesn't do anything.
So, was that a reason to fire her?
I didn't fire her. I retired her with a pension.
Mother, she has a bad heart. She wouldn't be able to get another job.
You're hopeless.
I'm hopeless. I can't imagine what your surprise is. No.
He's gorgeous, and he's quite wonderful.
How old?
Well, he's older than you, as if it matters. And he's a 10-goal polo player. Andreas? Andreas Santiago, this is my daughter, Christine Cromwell.
I am extraordinarily pleased to meet you.
Yes. Well, it's not as though the Garrisons were ever out of the top drawer.
But Walker Garrison started out with 20 or 30 million.
All he ever had, my dear, was money. His father, a total snake, stole the first millions during the Depression. Behind every great fortune is a great crime.
What did you think of him?
Walker? When you started handling his account, I said, don't ever get caught in a locked room with him.
He did have hungry eyes.
He was a sexual Rasputin. Didn't he ever make a pass at you?
Mother, our relationship was strictly professional. He was a perfect gentleman.
Then I think you'd better talk to Sassy Taggart. She was his first wife.
Sassy Taggart was married to Walker Garrison?
For 3 years. She said she was his absolute sexual slave for the first 18 months. That can happen.
Then what happened?
She wanted children.
That doesn't sound like it would be a problem.
He didn't want any. And then she found out that he was a perfectly awful person.
What do you know about the nephews?
Do I have to keep track of your generation, too? Well, let's see. The Garrison boys are Walker's brother Bennett's. Charlie Claghorn's mother is Brooke Garrison.
Do you think any of them would be smart enough to try and drive somebody crazy?
How smart would you have to be? Did you ever see Gaslight?
With Ingrid Bergman. It's a classic, Christina. I will rent the tape for you.
Thank you.
He's wonderful. Do anything for you. I like him, I really do.
But couldn't you have just lived with him? Wouldn't it have been easier?
Love for me means marriage, as in the song. And I do love him to pieces. You know, I do remember Olivia Garthwaite up in Maine. Sweet girl. You gonna be able to keep her out of trouble?
I hope so. I'd just like this whole thing to go away, Mother. If they indict her, I'm gonna have to find out if it was her imagination or whether someone actually set her up to kill her husband, which will probably be like chasing unicorns.
Excuse me. Telephone, Miss Cromwell, in the living room.
Thank you. Hello?
Christine, thank God I caught you. I checked the machine and there was this urgent message, so I left the dinner and came here to the office.
What message?
That lawyer, Stevens?
Yes?
Dead.
Dead?
He had an accident in his car.
What happened?
It blew up.
Christine!
I'm in the shower, Nanny.
Yes, I know, but it's the phone.
Take a message. I'll call back.
I can't find a pen, and it's very important.
Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. I put a whole bunch of pens in the drawer next to the sink. Did you look there?
I forgot, Christine.
Hello?
Christine, you've got to get out here right away.
Calm down. What's the matter?
A local reporter just called. He's down at the county courthouse.
And?
He says I'm being indicted.
For what?
For first-degree murder.
Are you going away again?
Yes, I have to go back to Carmel this afternoon. Now, don't forget to water the flowers. In the garden.
I write it down.
Hello?
Miss Cromwell.
Yes?
Luke Grassi. Your secretary gave me a home phone. Sorry I couldn't get back to you sooner.
Oh, too busy rushing through an indictment? I never even had a chance to get Stephen's notes.
Well, once the DA felt that we could prove intent, he decided to go for murder one. Anyway, what's his name? Stevens' notes probably wouldn't have helped. The guy was a rotten apple.
Very nice, Mr. Grassi. Now, let's go back to intent. Your boss claiming to be psychic now?
Ballistics report came in
Oh, let me guess. It was a shotgun.
with a slug, not shot.
What difference does that make?
That goes beyond discovery. We feel that that proves intent. And I'm afraid you're gonna have to figure out why.
I'd like a meeting, Mr. Grassi, today if possible.
Oh, no, I'm all backed up.
Suppose I just drop by around lunch.
Well, I'm not promising anything.
I'll take my chances.
Oh, my goodness, what a joy. We'll finish this later. I don't get surprise visits from my stepdaughter often enough. What are we gonna do about this? My kids are all younger. They're all married.
I've been married too, Pop.
For 14 months, 14 years ago.
And it taught me a lesson.
Just because your mother
Gets rid of husbands faster than she gets rid of cars.
It doesn't mean you would. You aren't that way.
Why tempt fate?
What am I gonna do about you? My advice? You hire a gunslinger and bow out. You don't have a chance, sweetheart.
Thanks, Pop.
I'm only concerned about you. And that slug will kill you with a jury.
Why? A shotgun shell's a shotgun shell.
Shotgun shell is a shotgun shell, but what you put in it makes a huge difference. Bird shot kills birds, and a slug will put a hole the size of a fist through a 200-pound man. You load a shotgun with slugs.
You're not planning on any warning shots?
You ain't going squirrel hunting.
Unbelievable, miserable jerk should have been issued a bathrobe instead of the judicial model. Why I ever got into this line of work?
Luke?
What? We'll take care of it later, Josh. May I help you?
I'm Olivia Garrison's attorney.
Christine Cromwell, I presume.
Luke Grozzi, I presume.
Come on in. Come, please. Make yourself comfortable right in here. That's it. Lunch. Would you like half a tuna sandwich?
Oh, no, thank you.
Made it myself.
No,
pickles.
really. No, I'm not
You need
hungry.
the iodine.
Look, Mr. Grozzi.
Miss Cromwell, please. Since you're here without an appointment, I would like to treat this as a casual conversation. Off the record, if you prefer.
I would prefer that.
Come on, I'll buy you a drink. Let's go.
Thank you.
Great.
So, off the record, why did you get into this work?
Younger and dumber, I guess. No high-paying San Francisco law firms for me. I wanted to feel the majesty of the law. So now what happens is twice a year I run into an old schoolmate. He's wearing a custom-made suit, and I have to remind myself that it's the system that's out of whack, not me. No offense intended.
None taken.
So why the wry smile?
I had exactly the same thoughts coming out of law school.
And?
4 years in the PD's office, rapists, hypes, cons, indigent mothers.
What happened?
The lies got to me. So I was an easy sell when Blaine and Knapp came knocking. Cyrus appealed to my social conscience.
Blaine and Knapp, what do you need to get in the door? 10 mil?
15. No, wait, I must say that over the last 5 years, we've invested over $100 million in minority-owned companies.
Well, in any case, you can't question their good taste. But I have to tell you that the future doesn't look so bright for your client.
Why is it that I feel I'm the only one who sees any lack of concrete evidence here?
Counselor, she blew a hole in Garrison's head. You could park a flower pot in it.
I read the coroner's report, and I don't believe that the presence of slugs suggests intent. She might not have known what was in the gun.
It was her gun.
Come on, it was in the bedroom they shared.
It was made for her.
Look, I can see that this isn't going to get us anywhere, so...
Look, I think we should talk about a plea.
She won't plea. She isn't guilty of a crime.
Then I don't think there's anything left for us to discuss. If I don't hear from you, I'll see you in court.
In any case, thanks for the drink. Olivia?
I'm sorry, Miss Cromwell. Mrs. Garrison went for a ride.
In the rain?
It hadn't started when she left.
Oh. Is the chauffeur around?
Yes, ma'am. I believe Eric will be in the garage.
Thank you.
So even though I had no trouble starting it, I took it to the dealer. And they gave it a clean bill of health.
Are the cars locked every night?
Of course.
Where are the keys kept?
On a rack just inside the door to the house.
Oh, the rack of keys on the right wall?
That's correct.
And everybody in the house knows that they're there.
When she wants anything done to her car, she leaves her keys on the rack.
She? Mrs. Garrison? Eric, how long were you Mr. Garrison's chauffeur?
27 years.
Have the police talked to you?
Of course. Will there be anything else, ma'am?
No, thank you. Oh. Rain stopped.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Catherine still on duty?
Until 6, ma'am.
Thank you.
But we took the night off. So the first I heard about it was the next morning when I come back to work, and there was a police car standing at the front gate.
All the phones are connected with an intercom, aren't they?
Oh, yes. All the rooms are numbered. You just push 2 buttons.
Have there ever been any problems with the phones?
Oh, no. Well, at least not since the mister put in the new system last year.
Last year?
Not even. Last May.
Christine?
Thank you, Catherine.
Christine?
I didn't realize you were coming out.
I had to go see Grazi.
What did he say?
I thought you were riding.
I was.
Will you canter between drops?
Excuse me?
Rain, water, it's been raining.
Oh, not up in the hills where I was.
That's only 2 miles from here.
Christine, please, what did Grazi say?
I think we have to face some facts.
Oh, God.
What's the matter?
I'm gonna be sick.
That's the 3rd time you've done that in the last 4 days that I know about.
It was just nerves.
I think you should see a doctor.
If it keeps up, I will.
Is the gamekeeper still around?
Why, you want to murder some birds?
I have to talk to him about the gun.
Christine, I'm not sorry. He was going to kill me.
No, ma'am. I don't even keep any slugs down in the gun room.
Did you take care of the shotgun?
I'd clean it once a year.
Do you remember what kind of shells were in the gun the last time you cleaned it? Mr. Parker?
Birdshot. May I say something, miss?
Of course.
The man was a pig.
Garrison?
I watched him shoot one of his own dogs once because it wouldn't hold point. I'd raised that dog. He was only 10 months old.
The shotgun's a Purdy, isn't it?
Oh, aye, it's a magnificent gun.
They're all custom, aren't they?
Absolutely. Grip, butt, stock, barrel, choke.
Who was the gun made for?
Mrs. Garrison.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
My nerves are shot.
I'm going into the city.
You just got here.
Sassy Taggart came into town just to see me.
Why?
Why? Because I'm trying to put together a defense for you, which, believe me, is no walk in the spring rain.
She can't tell you anything.
Look, my mother talked to her, and she was very sympathetic. Plus, she might be able to verify some of your charges.
You don't believe me, do you?
I can't defend you until I know the whole truth.
Christine, you know as much as I do.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Me. I'm sorry I called. I don't think she believes in me anymore. She just left for the city to see Sassy Taggart. She can tell her a whole lot of things. I'm scared. I'm really scared.
ABC Saturday Mystery starring Jaclyn Smith as Christine Cromwell will continue in a moment.
Pop, I told you I'm fine.
You were unconscious for 10 minutes, Christine. You're not fine. If you didn't have your mother's granite-like head, I'd hold you over for observation.
Oh, my God, I'm late. I've got to call Sassy Taggart.
Will you please try to relax? Ring Mrs. Taggart. Tell her Christine's been delayed. She'll be half an hour.
Pop, really, this is...
You come bouncing in here like some wayward basketball. I'm not about to let you bounce back out. Well, the least you can do is to have a cup of coffee with your stepfather.
Okay.
Christine, San Francisco isn't the same. Well, you can't even walk on Nob Hill in the middle of the day without being run down by a rogue BMW. Probably some sockless piece of Euro trash. God, talk about nouveau riche.
Sassy.
I know. You didn't come over here to talk about the inadequacies of the foreign gene pool. This country is going to hell in a handbasket.
Sassy, what about Walker Garrison?
Oh, yuck. From bad to worse. Loathsome. The man could have run a cult.
He was manipulative?
He was a pig. Not to mention a misogynist. He would wait and hit you where you were the most vulnerable.
He hit you?
Oh, no. No, he battered you psychologically. You should do something about those little lines around your eyes. Putting on some weight. Physically, his preference was to choke me until I passed out.
How could you have stayed with him for as long as you did?
Who knows? Hope? Insanity? Fear of failure?
Sassy, Mother said Garrison didn't want children.
Now, that must be the one piece of gossip that Sam has missed in the last 50 years. No, Walker shot blanks. Thank God. No, I've always assumed that was some sort of divine intervention.
You think it affected him then?
I'm sure there were some who would say that it contributed to his cowardly, sadistic need for power. I feel no pity for him. I'm sure that poor girl had every right to do what she did.
I don't know, Cyrus. The deeper I get into this thing, the more my instinct starts telling me that she's not as innocent as I'd hoped. I mean, there's no doubt that Garrison was abusive, but beyond that, not much of Olivia's story is holding up. The car being out, the phone, the lights, nothing seems to indicate that those things really happened.
I don't think you're hearing me, Christine. I want you to drop the case. I don't want you out there fending off attempts on your life every time you cross the street.
Damn it, Cyrus, you hooked me into this thing. Don't start waffling on me now.
Believe me, this BMW incident does not sound coincidental.
You think I don't know that? I happen to take attempts on my life very seriously.
I'm sure you do. And in light of that, we might be better served with an outside investigator.
Absolutely not. Until I'm convinced otherwise, Olivia Garrison remains innocent. And whoever was driving that car on Nob Hill has just bought themselves a personal vendetta.
Excuse me, but you are a member of this firm, of which I am still head.
If you want my resignation?
Please, not the balcony speech. I haven't lived this long by failing to recognize blood in a woman's eye.
Gibson and Eagley called to say the cancellation is fine. Catherine Spence, nothing urgent. Andrea Santiago, your new stepfather, in case you've forgotten, and your mother twice.
Oh, what did she want?
For you to stop by on your way home. She said she had some interesting news for you.
She just wants to gossip.
Well, at least give me the inside scoop on the Garrison case. Practically the whole town's dying to know.
Dying to know what?
Latest word on the street.
The street, Sarah?
Well, Mortimer's last night. Top two theories are she killed him because he was going to divorce her and she had a bad prenup. Or he was going bankrupt and she wanted the insurance money.
Sarah.
Or...
Aren't you being a bit presumptuous?
About what?
Do all these theories presuppose Olivia's guilty?
Christine, Everybody knows she's guilty. They just want to know why.
Mother, I haven't all night.
Don't fret. Nobody's due here for 45 minutes. I want to be sure the roast is en point at 8 o'clock. Thank you. Oh, who's your date for the Emerald Ball?
You just get me.
Good God, Christine, have you taken a vow of chastity?
Mother, I'm not here to discuss my sex life. You said you had some information.
How's Walker Garrison dining with his nephew the night he was killed?
What?
Kit Hamilton spotted them at Le Bernardin. They were sharing a bouillabaisse.
Which nephew?
Darling, I can't be expected to find out everything for you.
I don't even know why I'm excited. It might not mean a thing. Between you and me, I'm starting to have second thoughts. Just gave Cyrus the big speech about seeing this thing through. Couldn't help but wonder if I was crazy.
I think it would be a good idea if you paid your stepfather a visit tomorrow morning.
Where? Which one?
Of course, darling. I think it always helps to hear yourself talk things through.
Mother, it's not that kind of problem.
Always works wonders for me. Probably why I married the man in the first place.
I guess it's because I'm wondering if I'm the only person left in town who still believes in her. And if so, am I crazy? Part of me thinks so, and part of me hates the other part for even harboring those thoughts. Of course, the rational part supports the first part the more I investigate. Every day, another piece of her story seems to fall off the wall and split into pieces. And then I begin to wonder, am I becoming more or less objective? Or whether I have any objectivity at all. I mean, just because she's my friend, does that mean I have to remain completely objective? Of course I do. And if I'm not, does that mean I shouldn't be on the job? Maybe Olivia would be better served by somebody else. But then my leaving now would shatter what little confidence she has left. I don't think she could handle it. I mean, she used to be the picture of health, and now she spends half the morning throwing up, plus she breaks into tears at the slightest provocation. Pop?
Yes?
How did I get into this position?
I think you did what you believed in your heart to be right.
No, I mean right now, on my back on this couch.
That, my dear, I cannot tell you. But I suspect it has something to do with your mother.
No, I guess I do sound a bit scattered.
No. You, my dear, are, as usual, the epitome of stability. If I may be so bold, however, your friend, Olivia, is not in as good a shape.
I know, the tears, the upset stomach, the mood swings. Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
PMS. The literature on the topic is quite extensive.
Pop, you're a hell of a shrink, but you'd be a lousy gynecologist.
Can you rush it? I'd really like to have it back by the weekend.
I'll do my best. But you know, it's going to take a little while to match his color.
Call me Friday if it's not going to be ready. I don't want this car released to anyone other than myself. I know Fred was doing me a favor. It was just very careless of him to park it out on the street.
Mr. Garrison, I guarantee your car's going to look as good as new. You'll never know it was hit. And it will be ready Friday.
Good.
Because if it's true, it's a whole new motive. Plus, it means she's not leveling with me.
Well, I do have some good news.
What?
I talked to the maitre d' at Le Bernardin. Garrison had dinner with Arthur, and they were not getting on well. They had words at the check room as they were leaving. Garrison was quite drunk. Arthur didn't want him to drive.
That's good, Sarah. Thanks.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna confront Olivia. Did you tell Stuart to run a check on the nephews?
None of the cousins have what I would describe as stellar financial records, but Arthur Garrison is certainly leading the pack. Outstanding liens, foreclosure in '86, credit card cancellation. This guy's credit rate is on a par with several African nations.
Hello, Stuart. Any signs of him pulling out in the near future?
No way. This guy needs lots of money, and he needs it fast.
No. It's out of the question. The offer stands. There's no reason to sweeten it. She's on the run as it is.
He's right, Charlie. Anything more is just money out of our pockets.
Suppose she isn't on the run. She beats this and we're out in the cold patting ourselves on the back about how we played hardball. I say we make it too good for her to say no.
Then again, I'm getting tired of just waiting around. This thing gets into court, it could be years before we see a dime.
You guys should be arms negotiators.
What do you mean?
I mean, is there anything you haven't told me?
Christine, you're playing some sort of game.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to get to the truth.
About what?
Are you pregnant?
Yes.
Who's the father?
Christine.
Who, Olivia?
Walker, of course.
Maybe we should just hire a gunslinger and see what kind of deal we can get for her. We're dead in court. Olivia's pregnancy, along with the mystery father, will give Grozny an ironclad motive. He'll say that Olivia and her lover set the whole thing up after it became evident that she was pregnant. Garrison would obviously have divorced her, leaving her with nothing. How hard would it have been to set up, knowing Garrison's reputation for abuse?
We seem to be moving past the point where you can make a case for reasonable doubt.
The only loose end is Garrison's dinner with Arthur.
I'd say that's your last bullet.
Make a nice turn on it. Don't give it away. Don't give it away. Ho, 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 ho. Yeah. Perfect. Very nice. Couple of sets of wind sprints. Let's go.
Hey, you mean we have to run because she's here? Is she Mrs. Grossi or something?
All right, that's it. You just upped it to 3. On the foul line. Come on. Go, 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 go. Woohoo! Look at him go.
This an indication of how tough you are in court?
Maybe. Haven't gotten them to run laps yet, though.
They win?
0-6.
Couldn't be the coaching.
Nah, all the umps are paid off. So is this surprise due to baseball or to business?
I wish the former, but actually I wondered what you knew about Arthur Garrison.
Ah, well, not much. He's the most successful of the cousins.
Did you know he had dinner with Walker Garrison the night he died?
I knew they had words. Arthur's got an airtight alibi. He called later on from his car phone to apologize for the fight.
That's airtight?
Christine, the call was logged 10 minutes before the murder, a 415 call. There was no way he could have been outside of San Francisco. And his car was back in the garage in San Francisco 5 minutes before Garrison was murdered in Carmel.
Right. I see. Well, can I have a copy of the autopsy report?
Sure. I'll have it over first thing in the morning. I'm still willing to discuss a plea, you know.
I think they need a pep talk. Morning, Richard. Is she up yet?
I'm afraid she's just left, Miss Cromwell. She was going for a ride.
Would you call the stables? Have a horse saddle for me.
Yes, Miss Cromwell.
Christine knows about the baby. I'm sure she knows I'm lying about Garrison being the father. What if she finds out he was sterile?
Olivia? I want to know exactly how long this has been going on, and I want the truth, the whole truth from here on out.
A year. Not even, really. 10, 11 months.
Who else knew about this?
Nobody.
We were very careful.
Oh, come on, Olivia. Motel clerks, maids, maitre d's.
That's impossible.
What about Garrison?
No way. I would have known about it. He couldn't have dealt with it. I definitely would have known.
Well, at least we know what we're up against.
Looks bad, doesn't it?
Couldn't be much worse. He's broke, you're pregnant. I'd say a jury would be inclined to believe that you two set up the murder.
There is one more thing. I had been at the house the night of the shooting.
What?
I left maybe half an hour before Garrison came home.
Oh, this is terrific.
I wanted to tell you earlier, but I was
we
just...
thought it would be too incriminating.
What were you doing here?
We made love that night.
Here?
In Garrison's bed.
Oh, God. I mean, this is just, it's great. It gets better and better. I mean, do you have any more gasoline you'd like to splash on the fire?
Christine, I know how bad it looks, but you've got to believe me. Charlie is the only good thing that's happened to me in the past 10 months. And regardless of how much I hated Garrison, I never, ever would have set up his death. You know me, for God's sakes.
Miss Cromwell, you have a telephone call.
Hello? Oh, hi, Barbara. That would be great. I really appreciate it. A couple of hours? Good. Okay, I'll see you then. Barbara Marburg.
Social call?
She's head of pathology at Bayview Hospital.
Look, Christine, I did my best on this, but I can't promise I didn't miss anything. I haven't done any forensic work in school. And reading an autopsy report's no substitute for seeing a body. The boy was in great shape for his age. I really couldn't find anything wrong with him.
The only thing that struck me as odd were some small lesions in the throat.
What kind of lesions?
Not sure. Only thing I've seen that was similar was with patients who'd been intubated.
Barbara, what could have caused the lesions in Garrison?
It's impossible to say.
If it wasn't a tube that was forced down his throat,
your guess is as good as mine.
Nothing else out of the ordinary?
No. Alcohol level was high, 0.12. Stomach contents was normal. Big dinner, clams, oysters, all kinds of seafood. Salad, vegetables, red and white wine.
Both?
Yeah.
That's odd.
According to the bill, they split an order of oysters on the half shell for an appetizer, then a bouillabaisse, and made their way through a bottle and a half of fouet fusé.
And they didn't order red wine.
The waiter was horrified that I'd even asked.
I'm not surprised. Garrison was a gourmet. I can't imagine him mixing red wine and fish.
So?
So that means Walker Garrison was murdered, but not by Olivia. Well, the point is, I'm convinced that Olivia and Charlie are truly in love. Despite the overwhelming circumstantial evidence to the contrary, I don't think that either one of them are capable of plotting Garrison's murder.
Well, need I remind you that it's not your opinion that matters here, it's the jury's. And I can't imagine that anyone would find Olivia's little sin of omission as to with whom she was sleeping as purely circumstantial.
Mother, at least give me credit for half a brain. I'm not presenting the case on the merits of my gut instincts. All I'm saying is that I think there might be another answer.
Christine, all these theories are wonderful, but I think you'd better find something more concrete on which to hang your case.
As usual, you've read my mind. Andreas, do you have a pocket knife on you?
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, if you read mine, you know that I'm wondering whether you've given any thought to this weekend. Christine, what are you doing?
I'm going to ask Pop to run this paint through the PD lab.
You don't have a date this weekend, do you?
What's this weekend?
The Emerald Ball.
Damn, I completely forgot. I'll give my tickets to Sarah.
You'll do no such thing. You're sitting at our table. I'll get you a date. Least you can do is come to the dinner.
Fine, just nobody who's been in town and country in the past year. All right? Olivia? Charlie?
I've come to a decision about this whole mess.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna keep the third. And assuming that I can get a decent plea out of Grassi, which I don't think is going to be a problem, the three cousins can split up the remaining 66%.
Are you out of your mind? Not only are you admitting guilt in Walker's death, you're handing them over $100 million.
One of whom I happen to be very much in love with.
Well, that's very convenient. But I don't think that's necessarily relevant as to whether you should accept a plea on a murder you didn't commit.
All due respect, Christine, I think your judgment may be clouded by the fact that your firm stands to lose a large yearly fee should this money be distributed.
Oh, please. My firm's position enhances rather than conflicts with my representation of Olivia. Not to mention the fact that personally, and I know it might sound a bit old-fashioned, but I'd like to see a little justice here.
I realize that, and I appreciate it, but it's better this way. I'll be through with it. Besides, I know we can get it reduced to manslaughter or extenuating circumstances.
Olivia, you...
I've made up my mind.
Okay.
I'll call you in the morning.
You're supposed to at least look like you're having a good time at these things.
Hi, Sassy.
Word has it that Sam fixed you up with quite a looker.
It was very nice.
Then why the blue funk?
Oh, this whole Garrison mess.
Look, I would be glad to testify as to that louse's proclivities if you go to trial.
Sassy, was he much of a wine drinker?
Walker? Just white.
He didn't like red?
Like he was violently allergic to it. It made him uncontrollable. Or should I say more so than his normally exuberant self?
Sassy, you're a lifesaver.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
The ABC Saturday Mystery starring Jaclyn Smith as Christine Cromwell will continue in a moment.
The agreement, of course, is contingent upon the ability of the district attorney to provide Mrs. Garrison with an acceptable plea bargain.
Of course.
This process has been put in motion.
The district attorney has agreed to the plea.
Well, then, the last signature on the original would seem to be Mrs. Garrison's.
Well, now that the formalities have been dispensed with, I would like to state for the record that after the transfer is complete, the firm of Blaine & Knapp will no longer be retained for investment services.
Your request is duly noted. We'll have the appropriate papers drawn up.
Thank you.
Excuse me, gentlemen, if I could have a moment. Since everyone seems to be in such a declarative mood, I also have something for the record. I have reason to believe that someone here orchestrated Walker Garrison's death. I plan to find out who that person is, and when I do, this agreement will be null and void, because under California law, that person will not be allowed to profit from his crime. Excuse me.
I like a woman with spunk, don't you?
I really appreciate this.
No problem. I was looking for an excuse to come to town. And now that I'm here, the people are intimidated.
Good. I need a big favor from the people. Can you stall the plea bargain?
Why?
I think this thing is going to unravel. I think Garrison's death was set up, not to mention Stevens going up in smoke.
Do you have any proof?
Nothing that stands up in court, but an awful lot of arrows pointing in the right direction.
The cousins?
I think red wine was forced down Garrison.
What?
He never drank it. He was allergic to it. It made him crazy. Plus, he was half in the bag from the white at dinner. And the lesions in his throat are consistent with intubation.
Hey, hold the phone here. Even if assuming that much was true, there's a lot of empty ground between the dinner and the shooting. There was the call on the car phone. There was all that stuff that happened at the house that made her think there was a break-in.
Look, I realize there are a lot of big pieces missing. I'm working on those. Maybe one of them was already at the house.
I know this doesn't prove anything, but I do know that Benjamin was pre-med at school, and he has a background in electrical engineering. He worked at the phone company for 2 summers.
Well, he'd certainly be capable of rigging the phones and the lights, maybe even the car.
Capable, yes, but that's a long way from guilty.
What about Arthur?
No, nothing really, except he was a Green Beret in Vietnam. Christine, there is nothing tying Arthur in.
Yeah, I know.
Look, I can't really do anything without proof. I can stall the plea for maybe a day or 2.
That's perfect. That's all I'll need.
Would you like to go to dinner with me? Strictly personal, nothing business.
I think we better wrap up the business part first.
Oh.
Benjamin's in fairly decent shape, but Arthur's got serious financial problems. If he doesn't come up with $10 million by the end of next quarter, he's out of business.
Impossible for him to have been 2 places at once. If he did this, he couldn't have been alone.
Yes, I know. I've got one more stop. I'll call you later. Bye.
Well, the boys in the lab said you really lucked out on this one, sweetie. It's a custom BMW color, so it shouldn't be too hard to track it down through one of the dealerships in town.
Thanks, Pop. Appreciate it.
Christine, say hi to your mom.
Yeah, sold one that color about 6 months ago.
You know who that would have been, too?
Miss Van Allen, I'm sure if your father's that anxious for one, I could order it today and have it delivered here in under 6 weeks.
But if the price is right, Daddy could buy it off the old customer and have it this weekend. And that way he could buy Mommy the 750 she wants in her favorite color.
Uh-huh. You certainly know how to close a closer. Yeah, Benjamin Garrison. He lives down at Carmel.
You're wonderful.
That's not the point.
I don't care if it takes all day. That's right. Yeah, right. All right. Hey, didn't expect to see you back so soon. How goes the hunt?
I'm getting close. You know that car that tried to run me down? I got paint samples. I had my secretary go to the BMW dealers. It was a custom color. The only one in the San Francisco area belongs to Benjamin Garrison.
Very good.
I just have to find something that puts him at the Garrison house the night of the murder.
Grassi. When? Where? Yeah, I'll be out.
I think you want to see this.
Hold on a second, please. Detective, I'm Luke Grassi from the DA's office.
You had an ongoing involving this guy?
Yeah.
Looks like he made your day a lot easier. Pretty standard suicide. He spent the night in the car with a bottle of brandy. Gardner found him this afternoon when he smelled the fumes.
What's that?
It's a confession. Couldn't live with the guilt. Oh, boy.
What? What is it?
I planned my Uncle Walker's murder with his wife, Olivia, for financial gain.
Doesn't make any sense. Benjamin and Olivia, give me a break.
The whole family's in shock, Charlie. Who would have thought the 2 of them could have set that thing up?
So what happens now?
Case closed. I imagine there'll be a distribution of Uncle Walker's funds, and that will be that.
The hardest part to swallow? That Benjamin would kill himself.
What do you mean? You saw the note?
I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but the idea that Benjamin would do anything out of guilt strikes me as extraordinary.
This is my brother we're talking about.
Arthur, I'm not showing you the backside of the moon here, but you know better than most that Benjamin had about as much guilt as a rat in rut.
Be that as it may, I don't think there's any necessity to cast stones, do you?
Just trying to clear my mind a bit.
Well, in the future, at least have the decency to wait until the body is cold.
Bad enough having to transfer a third of the estate to that parasite Arthur. Now to include half of Benjamin's share.
Makes no difference to the firm, Christine. It's the same amount of loss either way.
Well, it makes a difference to me, Cyrus. It's not the money, it's that it's not right.
Just be thankful the district attorney let the plea bargain stand after Benjamin's letter. If he waved that in front of a jury, Olivia'd go away for 20 years. I imagine the family reunion this weekend will be strained, to say the least.
Just doesn't play right, Cyrus. The whole thing seems tilted in the wrong direction.
Let it go. You've done your best.
You're right. You're right. I know you're right. It's just...
Christine?
I just had a thought.
I thought we agreed to let it go.
I can't.
It's hopeless. Everybody's been lying to you since day one.
That's what I'm counting on.
You're as stubborn as your mother.
Red Tully?
You got him.
Christine Cromwell. I phoned earlier.
It's a pleasure. What can I do for you?
Are these cars remaining in the estate?
Don't know. It's up to the lawyers. I'm just getting everything cleaned up.
This one sure is a beauty. They did a nice job on this front fender. Matched the paint perfectly.
Wasn't much of a ding.
How'd it happen?
I was parked on Polk and some guy backed into me.
Oh, really? That's a shame. Not many like this around. Strange that it fits the description of a hit and run the same day you had your little fender bender.
So?
I'd hate to see you get dragged into something that you weren't responsible for.
I'm not sure I follow you, Miss Cromwell.
Someone slip you a couple of bills to say you didn't drive the car that day?
What makes you say that?
Instinct? Wouldn't be too big of a stretch for a prosecutor to work your silence into accessory, if that is the case. There's no reason to protect Benjamin Garrison. He's gone. I'd still have to go to the prosecutor with the paint chips.
Mr. Garrison didn't drive the car that day.
And you? Care to tell me who it was?
Hey, Alexis, bet you I know what your favorite color is.
What?
It's pink.
You do know.
Of course I know. Would I be a bear and not know things like that?
Hey, how do you do that?
Doesn't it bother you?
The party? Maybe it'll help get the family back together.
Oh, I don't care about the party.
You mean about Arthur getting the money? Well, with what Charlie's got and I'll be keeping, it'll be plenty.
It's the principle of the thing.
Not to mention the interest.
I'm serious. Haven't you ever heard of justice? He didn't deserve a penny. His conscience certainly doesn't seem to be bothering him.
Hey, Alexis, the bear said you were cute.
He did not say that.
Well, sure I did. I said I love Alexis.
The bear is talking to me.
Of course I am. I want to go home with you. Say, my favorite food is honey, Alexis. What's yours? Bet you it's ice cream. Mm-hmm.
Come on, I want you to see this. A mini family history. This book was grandmother's. We'd all written this over Labor Day and 4th of July. 68 Labor Day. Only 4 more months of a Democratic administration. Hallelujah, Walker Garrison. 71. Dear Gaga, that was grandmother. Sorry about the telephones. Arthur blew out the telephone line. He overloaded it. Just a normal all-American family.
We really brought you up here to thank you.
For what? I failed. You were convicted of something you didn't do.
Christine, I don't care.
But I do.
Charlie, Olivia, the Van Heusens are leaving.
We'll be right back.
I'm fine.
May I help you, Miss Cromwell?
No, I'm just waiting for Olivia.
Who's here? You better be going.
He's good. Arthur was always a mimic. He can crack up the whole family doing Gaga.
And he can throw his voice.
All the way across the room if he wants. He could imitate Uncle Walker perfectly. He used to scare the hell out of us whenever we did something wrong.
Wait a minute, you think that Arthur was involved with Benjamin?
I wonder whether Benjamin was involved at all.
Oh, Charlie.
Truth?
Truth.
So, who'd like to start?
Truth. I just want you to know that it was my decision.
To talk?
Not to talk. Charlie wanted to come forward as soon as I was indicted.
Come forward about what?
The slugs in the shotgun were mine.
What?
I gave them to Uncle Walker.
That was the basis for the murder indictment.
I told you I made him promise.
And you never told me.
It would have come out about Charlie and me.
Olivia, it has come out. The world didn't stop.
Look, we're scared, we're stupid. We know that now.
How did it happen?
We were out shooting. When we were coming in, Uncle Walker asked me for a couple of slugs. Said he wanted them for the shotgun in the bedroom. So there was no sense in having it loaded with something that'd just make a robber irritable.
Was there anyone else around when he said this?
Arthur.
Arthur?
I come in here with new evidence in a murder case, and you look like you just bit into a sour lemon.
That's redundant.
You should see your face.
Yeah, but I was just about to call you to ask you out for dinner.
Really?
Yeah. I thought someplace quiet. Have a seat.
Can I have a rain check?
When? Do I have to convict Arthur?
I'll settle for an arrest.
You don't have anything I can take into court. It's all hearsay, supposition, and inference, and you know that. The guy's got an ironclad alibi. Let's not forget the phone call.
I'll get you the evidence.
I don't like the sound of that.
And when I do, I want Olivia's record expunged.
Oh, wait a minute. We pled her down to involuntary manslaughter with a suspended sentence. Then we find a suicide note, which is a confession and which implicates her.
So what? She didn't do it.
She didn't shoot him?
She shot him in self-defense. She was made to believe her life was in danger. I want a full pardon so she can inherit.
I'll recommend it if Arthur is the murderer and you can prove it.
He is, and I will.
You're a fool to go after him alone, you know.
Is that an offer?
Officially, this office considers this case closed.
Officially?
Officially.
What do you want, Miss Cromwell? You'll understand if I don't ask you to sit down.
Oh, I wouldn't if you offered. You're a killer, Mr. Garrison, and I'm going to prove it. Nobody may believe it but me, but trust me, that's enough.
And whom am I supposed to have killed?
Your brother, for one.
Get out.
And you tried to kill me, in addition to setting up your uncle's death. You know, come to think of it, your attorney's little auto mishap could be perceived as very timely.
Bradford!
But don't worry, I'm leaving. I think I got almost all of it. Throwing your voice, identical handwriting. I got your attention. I also know about you using the BMW. You know about the slugs.
I'm warning you.
Oh, you're warning me? No, no, Mr. Garrison. I'm telling you, you're going down. You're not going to end up with a dime of your uncle's money.
Miss Cromwell is leaving.
I'll see you in court, Mr. Garrison.
Paul!
So when is you two going to South Carolina?
This afternoon.
How many guns?
10. 6 couples, but Olivia and Margie don't shoot anymore.
Did you alert the police? Been a rash of burglaries, you know. You really shouldn't leave the house empty.
It won't be. Christine Cromwell's staying through the weekend. Olivia's selling the house, and Christine's meeting with brokers. She thought some space would be good for Olivia.
Meddlesome witch.
She may have a bug up her butt about you, but she's been great to Olivia.
Paul!
Will you be needing anything else, ma'am?
Oh, no, thank you, Catherine. That was wonderful.
If you don't mind, Michael and I are going to go see the grandchildren.
That's fine. Are you going to spend the night?
But I'll be back in the morning to fix your breakfast. Michael will turn on the alarm.
Hello? What are you doing back?
Just couldn't stay away.
You should have left well enough alone, Miss Cromwell.
I knew it. I knew it. I found out about all the training you had as a Green Beret. Medic training? You know how to intubate.
Very good. Yes, and poured a whole bottle of Chateau Petrus down that old bastard's throat. Waste of a good wine, but sure made him ornery. Of course, if I could have told him that Olivia and Charlie were doing the dance with no steps in his own bed, I wouldn't even have needed the wine. Pity. Take off your clothes, please.
What? Are you going to rape me?
Kill you.
You were a communications specialist. You know how to rig the phones.
Very good. The clothes.
You know, I just can't figure out how you made the call from San Francisco.
Answers. Just try not to say anything stupid.
Hello?
Hello, Christine.
Who is this?
Thank you for supplying my alibi.
Portable phone with the same number as your car phone.
Totally illegal, of course. The FCC could put me in jail, but then you won't be able to tell them, will you? This little thing cost me $1,000. I guess the payoff will be worth it. You know, you're just postponing the inevitable.
And you killed Benjamin.
A typed suicide note is so suspicious. Don't you think? But handwritten. Bulletproof.
Multiple murder, very nice. Stevens, too?
In for a penny, in for a pound.
Fall in the shower?
A very nasty head injury. The statistics on household accidents are appalling, aren't they? Let's not turn this into a striptease, shall we?
I agree. Please, give these guys a raisin. I'd love to save the state the cost of a trial. May I? Read him his rights, please.
My attorney is Mason and Stern. I don't intend on speaking again.
Think you could have cut it any closer?
I would have liked to have tried. Yeah, you probably wore 3 sweaters playing strip poker.
Did you get it all?
Yeah, got it all on tape. Not bad. You caught a murderer, you got your client off, and you saved your firm a healthy chunk of change. You didn't even have to take your clothes off.
Thank you.
Well?
Well, what?
I believe our business is concluded.
French, Italian, or Chinese?
Tomorrow, before you go out to tackle your yard full of leaves, watch the health show and get some tips on raking without wrecking your back. And on Business World with Sandeman Oker, think twice if your house is on the market. From California to New England, real estate prices are tumbling. Also, on This Week with David Brinkley, in East Germany, the cry for democracy brings down the Iron Curtain, and the eyes of the world are on it. Secretary of State Baker, guests. Beginning tomorrow night, he was a man she would live and die for. Could he be a man she'd kill for? Farrah Fawcett and John Shay's star with a special appearance by Ryan O'Neal. Small Sacrifices, an ABC miniseries. Watch The Weekend Report tonight on most of these ABC stations. This is ABC.
You're interfering with a major FBI surveillance. You're gonna come with me quietly.
That looks like B.L. Stryker. I hope it's not. I really do.
On the next ABC Saturday Mystery.
Another 6 months, I am going to get a pension that I worked 20 years for.
A cop can't go in there without a search warrant, but a telephone repairman can.
Grab a shower and we'll be out of here.
You're a little late, Stryker.
You're gonna kill a lot of innocent people.
Sunday. According to the legend, he's the spirit of the woods.
The wolf is out there.
There is no wolf.
He needs me.
Where's Corky and Paige?
They went to the woods.
Shoot!
Life goes on. Sunday.
Put that gun down.
Monday. MacGyver travels to Africa to help the plight of the endangered rhinos. Then. Are you ready for the football? Cincinnati Bengals tackle their division rivals, the Houston Oilers, on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football.
Hello. There are many coaching legends in the world of sports. Newt Rockne, Casey Stengel, and my hero, Hayden Fox. Now, you may know him simply as Coach. He's my kind of guy. He's funny, he's sweet, and he's the object of every woman's fantasy. Except my woman. She already found the man of her dreams. So, watch me and Rosie, then stick around for Craig T. Nelson as Coach. Tuesdays. I'm so proud.
Wednesday, to go fishing with Dad.
What a rod you got there, Dr. Hauser.
Or floating in paradise.
3 days with Wanda and her family.
Doogie Howser, MD. Dan.
This is a lie detector.
It's truth or consequences.
Have you ever had a dream about me?
Yes.
What were we doing in the dream?
Talking.
Anything but love, then.
I could introduce you to an all-American custom.
Timing is everything.
Seems a bit cheap.
Yeah?